All right, Rabbi say good morning. Let us begin. So we are picking up today, continuing in Os Samich Vav in Tzidkas Hatzaddik. Let's pick up on page Kuf Samich Beis in the Biurei Chasidus on the right-hand column, the second paragraph down. So remember again, yesterday the Rebbe introduced us to a really fascinating concept: the idea that even if HaKadosh Baruch Hu has something positive, some type of bracha in store for an individual, the only way to truly actualize that bracha is through tefillah, which is really a really profound idea. Because even though HaKadosh Baruch Hu decreed that something positive, that something wonderful is supposed to occur, at the end of the day, if I do not activate that reality through tefillah, it will not happen. And we explained that the logic behind that is that when HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives me brachos, in whatever form they may be, the power of those brachos is the ability for them to create and to forge meaningful relationship with Hashem. But the brachos only create and forge meaningful relationship with Hashem if I acknowledge that they are in fact from Hashem. And the way I acknowledge that the blessings I have in life are from the Ribono Shel Olam is through tefillah. By davening to Hashem for the things that I need, by thanking Hashem for the things that I have received, I acknowledge that all comes from above. So to get bracha without tefillah, says Rabbi Silber, undermines the entire purpose of bracha. It's very important that everything in life is about relationship with Hashem. Everything in life. And the goal and the purpose of everything in life is to create a relationship with the Ribono Shel Olam. So the moment that bracha doesn't create relationship is the moment that bracha is not really worth all that much. So the Rebbe brought the rayas from this from Eliyahu Hanavi. So take a look on page Kuf Samich Beis. Take a look at page second paragraph, right hand side. This is truly beautiful. V'ilu hachachamim, Rabbi Meir Rabbi Yehuda, Darma B'Rais, Mesechus Rosh Hashanah. So Rabbi Meir quotes over here a fascinating Gemara in Rosh Hashanah. I will say, the truth is, the Gemara, well, let's take a look. The Gemara says, Digzar din shel Adam, hu nichtav b'Rosh Hashanah, v'nechtam b'Yom HaKippurim. So we'll say, this is actually an interesting discussion in general the Gemara has about when a person is judged. So the one school of thought, which is the predominant school of thought, says man is judged on Rosh Hashanah and his judgment is sealed on Yom Kippur. There happens to be a second opinion, which we'll touch on as well, though we're not going to spend too much time on it, that Adam nidon b'chol yom, that a person is judged each and every day. Every day has its own independent judgment. So look what the Rebbe says. So he says, Darma B'Rais, Mesechus Rosh Hashanah, the Gzar din shel Adam, hu nichtav b'Rosh Hashanah v'nechtam b'Yom Kippurim. So we'll say, remember again, Rabbi Meir Rabbi Yehuda hold that a person is judged, or his Gzar din, his decree, is written on Rosh Hashanah and is sealed on Yom Kippur. Now we'll say, now think about this for just a moment. If that's true, that I'm judged on Rosh Hashanah and then I am sealed on Yom Kippur, then what don't I have to do? Daven. What am I daven for? In other words, if everything is decreed, I have to daven maybe Elul, Rosh Hashanah, Aser Simit Tshuva, Yom Kippur. Obviously, I'm going to have to daven leading up to that judgment. But at the end of the day, if judgment is truly signed and sealed on Yomim Noraim, then wherein lies the power of tefillah for the rest of the year? Everything is already decided. So look what the Rebbe says. He says, Lo cholkim al anshe knesses hagedola sheheim tiknu es seder hatfilos ha'amida sheish ladon b'chol yom. Now, even Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Meir will agree that a person has to daven Shemona Esrei every day. But what about the fact that already, again, judgment has been sealed on Yom Kippur? If judgment has been sealed on Yom Kippur, then why do I have to daven each and every day? I'll tell you why, says the Gemara. Ela sheladaitam mispalalim gam al ma shekvar nigza b'Rosh Hashanah mishum shenitzreches hatfila kedei lahotzies hagzar din l'po'al latov. So we'll say this is incredible, because even Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Meir will agree that even if we accept the theological construct that all is decided on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, and comes Yom Kippur, the Gzar Din is sealed. Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Huda will still say you still have to daven each and every day. Why? To bring the good that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has decreed for you to fruition. Because there is no such thing as experiencing bracha in this world without tefillah. Tefillah is there to activate the bracha. So it could very well be that HaKadosh Baruch Hu decreed it. He decreed it, signed and sealed. But at the end of the day, without tefillah, you cannot bring it into the realm of reality. Mishum shenitzreches hatefillah. Hatefillah kadei lahotzi es hagzardin lepoal hatov. Tefillah is necessary in order to bring things into reality. People say it's such an incredible idea. If you think about this, it's so profound, because what Rabbi Tzaddik is saying is like this: a person could have a whole life of bracha waiting for them at their fingertips, but without tefillah to make it into a reality, that bracha remains dormant. So we believe the Kadosh Baruch Hu always judges us favorably. So I can have a beautiful and favorable judgment on Yom Kippur, but at the end of the day, how much bracha do we leave on the table? Right? How much bracha do we leave on the table, says Rabbi Tzaddik, because I'm not davening, or because I'm not davening in the way that I could be davening. Tefillah is the way that I claim the bracha that has already been allocated to me. But you can't get it unless you pray for it. Such an incredible yesod. He goes on, Rabbi Tzaddik goes on. I'll also point out that there's another fascinating idea, which of course is that as much as there is a gizar din, in general, one of the hardest things to kind of wrap our head around, sometimes with Yamim Noraim, is, so there's a judgment on Rosh Hashanah, it's sealed on Yom Kippur, but is there the ability to alter that judgment? Right? The ability to alter that judgment. And if there is the ability to alter the judgment, then what's the point of the judgment? And if there is no ability to go ahead and alter the judgment, I understand why I have to daven to go ahead and claim the brachas. But does tefillah help to change chas v'shalom if there were negative decrees? So just as an aside, the answer to all of that is yes. Tefillah always helps to alter everything, even if there was a gzar din. Because remember, again, the way we look at it is, gzar din, a decree, ultimately, again, is meaningful because it reflects where I am at the time the decree was handed down. But Lamaisa, if a person chooses to change themselves, then it's possible sometimes, I'll give you a good mashal. It's kind of like tax law, right? Meaning, if you go ahead and you earn X amount of money, well, let's say a person earns $50,000. A person earns $50,000, they're taxed at a certain rate. If Baruch Hashem, you do well and you earn more money, and now you earn $100,000, so you're in a different tax bracket. Have the tax laws changed? No. What's changed? Your personal circumstances. So it's a good mashal for how it works with the Ribono Shel Olam as well. The Havdil, Aleph, Afir, Vivi, Avdalis. But it's a good mashal nevertheless. You understand? Which is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives me a gzar din. He gives me a decree. Bein l'tov, bein l'ra, chas v'shalom. That's the decree. That decree applies to me based on where I'm holding. But if I change myself, I put myself kiviyachol in a different bracket. It's not the pshat that HaKadosh Baruch Hu changed his mind. It's not the pshat that HaKadosh Baruch Hu changed his decree. Just the decree that was handed down was for me in a certain place. If I move myself somewhere else, then by definition, just the original decree doesn't apply to me. The original, right? The taxes on $100,000 are different than the taxes on $50,000. And at the end of the day, the tax law hasn't changed. My personal circumstances have changed. So what you see over here is, so obviously tefillah has the ability to change us. But what Rabbi Tzaddik is highlighting over here is, even if we accept the premise that everything is sealed and decreed on Yamim Noraim, at the end of the day, don't leave bracha on the table. And if I don't daven in order to forge a relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I don't get the bracha. And Rabbi say, think about this. It could be that we go through life with so much bracha that is waiting to be claimed by us, just perhaps because I'm not dialoguing with the Ribono Shel Olam, I'm not getting it. Because remember, again, looping back, and with this will stop, the whole point of the bracha is to forge relationship. And the only way the bracha forges relationship with Hashem, if it's accessed through the portal of tefillah. Because it's tefillah that says, Ribono Shel Olam, I know this comes from you. I know it's only from you. And I thank you. If the bracha doesn't create dialogical and relationship connection, then ultimately, again, the bracha remains unclaimed. So says Rabbi Tzaddik, a person could have a whole lifetime of bracha and bounty waiting for them, but it only becomes yours if you claim it through tefillah. And we'll have to stop over here. We'll pick up in Meretz Hashem tomorrow.